Bud Royster hit me and said, what made the Michigan signal stealing issue go away? Swept under the rug? Did Michigan steal first place in the playoffs? Well, what an ethics bomb that got dropped on us. I will tell you, I don't think they stole first place in the playoffs. I have people in my life who disagree with me on that. But I am my own man here. I don't think they stole first place in the playoffs. I also don't think it was a nothing issue. I think it was very significant. I just think it is another one of those two things can be true sort of things. As for where the scandal went, well, nothing else popped up. Nothing else emerged publicly. There was no follow-up on the follow-up on the follow-up. The craziest part to me about all this is Central Michigan had the dude allegedly show up on their sidelines wearing recorder glasses, cameras, and they went silent, and they never said a word, and they just waited it out. They just waited the storm out. They saw the hurricane coming. They were in the polygon, and they said, all right, it's going to suck for a little while, but we're just going to take shelter. And they took shelter, and the storm hovered. All right, nothing, moved on. And we never really got an answer on that. The second thing is, and this is on field, I think Michigan had this happen before the Penn State and Ohio State games to where all the scrutiny in the world was on them, and they went and won both of those games anyway. That's what removed a lot of the smoke. Had they lost to Penn State or had they lost to Ohio State, then I think they would have been judged really harshly, and I don't think they would have been in the playoff. But they didn't. They beat both of them. And there was a world's difference in judging undefeated Michigan versus one-loss Michigan. Like, the schedule didn't line up where this could have happened, but imagine if Michigan ended up being Bama, ended up being the team that was a one-loss conference champ. Well, Bama barely made it in. In a head-to-head resume like Michigan-Florida State, I think Florida State would have gone over them because I think the committee, whether they said they would or not, I think they would have taken it into account. They weren't being left out with no losses. There was zero chance that was happening. Michigan, not Florida State. Also, the NCAA stuff is still there. Like, they're being investigated. That's not over. It's just that you haven't heard anything about it for a little while. I also think the Florida State college football playoff stuff in general took a ton of oxygen from this story. Because you know as well as I do, there is a group of people who have like a passing interest in football games, but they love scandal and drama. And so that group was ecstatic when the Michigan stuff happened. The next biggest story in this sport was Florida State being screwed out of a playoff spot, if you want to call it that. And so the crowd that was just fixated on Michigan all of a sudden turned their attention to the Florida State drama. And I'm not saying that we didn't talk about it as well, but like we talk about all of the sport. There is one group of people who only talk about that kind of stuff. Well, their attention's been elsewhere. So to answer your question, it didn't go anywhere. I don't think it got swept under the rug. I mean, it was out there. Like, everybody talked about it until they were blue in the face. It's just nothing else has come of it yet. And we'll see. We'll wait into 2024 to see what does come of it.